It's a great question. And I think there are a number of places that we see applications of AI. And I'll sort of break it into two parts. One is just automation of simple tasks and parsing large amounts of data and making sense of that in ways that, were not as efficient in years past. So we've made a significant investment in AI with Snow Cortex, which is sort of our iteration of AI on our platform. The other thing is really accessibility of non-technical personas. So Snowflake is a very technical platform. We speak historically to more CTOs than CMOs. What we're seeing is that infusion of AI in applications on Snowflake that not only parse larger amounts of data and produce results that are more efficient and more insightful, there are also applications that use what we call like a talk to your data feature. So I can have an application and very natural language ask questions in that UI that actually then converts to a SQL query under the hood and then prompts and surfaces some of the results of that question. I think that's super interesting. The other is agentic AI. So not only can I potentially have an application where I can talk to my data or use natural language to solicit results, I can also have agents or a series of agents that basically will facilitate media and advertising use cases. That could be identity resolution, it could be activation, it could be measurement. I think that's the use case is to find more connections where historically they've not had those deterministic or probabilistic connections. So how do you, basically use AI to sort of plug those gaps that otherwise you might not have done with an approach that was not doing that? And so we're actively pursuing that. The other thing that we're seeing is in some instances, people want to cobble together supergraphs, which is a composite of different linkage providers. They're using applications to do that, to create their own bespoke graph. So those are two areas where I think AI is really relevant. Is one, finding more connections and doing it in a very efficient manner, but then also, if I am creating my own graph or a graph of graphs, sort of the assembly of those graphs can use AI technology to sort of parse and assemble those linkages. It's a great question. It is some of the topics that we discussed. So AI and tactical use cases of AI, specifically agents, are top of mind. How can you achieve different media and advertising use cases with a series of agents? I think that's incredibly important. DCRs are still incredibly relevant. And identity and the role that it plays in powering some of those secure joins, whether it's an activation or a measurement use case. And I think that's really where we've spent a lot of our time. And I think people are asking Snowflake, as we've matured and we're evolving and standing up more partners in the ecosystem, they're looking at us to say like, okay, well, what's next? And so we're really talking about those topics. That's really what we're doing. And, I think what we're trying to do with these large marketers that are tapping into the partner ecosystem is make connections and unlock value in the partners that they already have today that have some type of relationship with Snowflake. So, we might have a partner that has a CDP that has a relationship with Snowflake, as well as a DSP that has a relationship with Snowflake. And they might not know that it's possible to have those two partners actually talk to one another with data and identity, sort of linking and unlocking more value out of those respective technologies. So that's a lot of the conversation that we're having is with those marketers and trying to do more with less in a way that's efficient and effective. I think also, the topic of consent and privacy is always something that's important that we discuss, right? How are we not only running paid media and owned media plays, we're doing it with the customer's consent in mind. And that's always like central to any conversation that we have. We had a dinner last night at Baoli, which I would say is maybe 20% restaurant and 80% nightclub, which is fun. It's, you know, the lights start to go down and the music starts to go up. The fun of it for me is less my own personal fun, and it's more of seeing our partners, whether new or like legacy partners that we've had for some time, sort of convening and talking to one another and doing it in a safe place where they're generally having a good time. And if they happen to, you know, stumble upon ways to work together, actually through Snowflake, that is really fun for me. I like to see other people have fun. That sort of makes it a fun experience for me.